Just quickly, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
10 appearances in the Super Bowl, 10 of his 21. I think that's like a 47 point something percentage of his career. He ends up in the Super Bowl. That's a higher percentage than Steph Curry shoots from three. It is an unbelievable thing we're getting a chance to watch. And it isn't until it's all said and done that we give people flowers and everything like that. But as soon as Tom Brady dropped into that Buccaneers building, I think everybody that knew football knew that everything was going to get heightened. Everything was going to get better. And here he is in his first year in the NFC as the NFC champion. And now he's taking a squad that looked lost just 1 year ago to the biggest game of all time. Tom Brady is an icon. He's a legend. He's a GOAT for a reason. And I'm just thankful to be alive to get a chance to watch his avocado ice cream eating ass do what he does.
I can say this. I've watched him his whole career. I mean this. He is stronger, faster, and can throw it better right now than he has in any time of his career.
Yeah, but how? How is that possible?
Well, just being very smart. Of course, he was born to throw. And all he has done, he always...
Because he's a quarterback.
Yeah, that's, well, one of the reasons,
I'm messing with you a little bit.
You can't be a great quarterback if you just don't have the natural ability to throw the ball.
Right.
So he has that, and he has refined it to. I've seen his motion change about 3 or 4 times in his career. I did something that's going to be on Showtime tonight, just to show you a little something how he's changed in the last few years, and especially this year, it's like really dramatic. Where he's got better control of the football. He can throw it as hard as he wants and not lose control of it. That's a great thing to have. A lot of guys can throw it hard, but when they throw it hard, it can hit row 2 of the stands. Right. And just taking care of his body, and lifting or training to be a quarterback. That's all he does. He doesn't train to look great or all this. He trains to be a quarterback. So all those things, you add them up.
There will always be people, though, that will say, hey, look, the year he's out with injury, they won 11 games. So it's more Belichick than it's him. They went 3-1 without him this year.
Right.
So it's more Belichick and the surrounding cast than it is him. Now, look, I point out that the year before they won 11 games, he won 18 and lost 1.
Good point.
He was 16-0. So a 5-game drop-off is a big drop-off.
That's right. And to think that, they're going to do all these exact same things when Tom Brady's not there, it's just not true. Because physically, okay, good luck. Jimmy Garoppolo's I think, a good up-and-coming player. Jacoby Brissett, I think, has really got a chance to be a starting quarterback in this league and have success. But you know what? Physically, they're not Tom Brady. Tom Brady plays tall. He has, for a guy, let's say he runs just for a number, he runs a 5-second 40. But he has the feet of somebody that runs a 4.3. So that's really important. The way he can dance in the pocket, pop around, those kind of things, that's what makes him. And so his talent, never undervalue the fact that he has great talent to move in the pocket and to throw the football.
He has a chance to become the most successful quarterback in the history, most accomplished quarterback in the history of the league with 5 rings if he wins.
Yes. I think he's already that guy.
He was a 6th-round pick that came out of nowhere and won a Super Bowl right away. And then he won a Super Bowl in 3 of his first 4 years, right? That's crazy. The only other guy who did that was Troy Aikman, but that was in the middle, the meat, as you're saying, of his career. But to really think that he came out and won 3 out of 4 at the beginning of his career strikes as an unknown name, that's the greatest achievement in my eyes.
Which quarterback are you taking, Rodgers or Brady?
Listen, this is just a blasphemous question right here. Of course you know where I'm going. I'm going with Tom Brady. And listen, we all know to me, when you're talking about who do you want for one game, it's about championship DNA. I've been on this show many a time talking about Aaron Rodgers is the most talented passer of the football that I have ever seen. I don't think there's any question about that. No question. I know Patrick Mahomes is coming into it, but to me it's Aaron Rodgers. But that doesn't mean that I want Aaron Rodgers in one game wins the whole thing. I'm going with the guy who over 20-year career has done it year in and year out, game in and game out. And everyone that talked about, most of that time was with Bill Belichick, that is correct. And look what's happened the year after those two have separated. Tom Brady has found his way into the championship game, and the New England Patriots, were at home making a sandwich for the playoffs. Okay? This man is a winner. There's no question about that. He's not the most physically talented guy, but the man knows how to win. Why? Because he has those intangibles, that work ethic that has allowed for a 6th-round pick to go out here and strike fear in people when the game is on the line. So Dominique, yes, you know where I'm going. I don't even know why they even asked me this question, which quarterback I'm going to take. I'm going to take Tom Brady.
I know that we've had many conversations about Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, who, in my opinion, is the best player in the history of the National Football League. I just like what he did. I like what he did yesterday. I have there that he's got 32 playoff dubs, which is just ridiculous. His playoff record now is 32-11. I'm going to put that in perspective for you. That is 2.5 seasons of more than 2.5 seasons of extra football. So 16-game season. If he had 3 of them, that'd be 48. He's already got 43 playoff games. And not only has he played in 43 of them, he's won 32.
You can answer this better than anybody. What makes Tom Brady so good, so cool, so calm in a big spot?
Well, I mean, first of all, you can never go into a test, any important situation like this show without being prepared.
That's right.
So you got to do your homework. So the test isn't a big deal. You're not nervous about it. You're sleeping at night. He's prepared. He knows exactly what the defense is going to do. Sure, every now and then a defensive coordinator throws something out at him. An offensive tackle misses a block, which is, he can't control that. But most importantly, he's ready. He's mentally prepared. And then you really just have to play. There's no thinking going on. There's no second guessing yourself. It's see the defense, read the defense, get rid of the football.
See the best of all time? I think he's the best of all time, bar none.
You know what? Normally I would say, I'm biased, first of all, and
sure.
I didn't play with Joe Montana. I had Randy Cross on my radio show. We asked Randy Cross we asked him the same question. He's like, well, my guy was pretty good, and he never lost a Super Bowl. So Joe Montana is 4-0. And I said, well, he also didn't play as many as Tom Brady did also. And then he goes, well, those 2 losses with the Giants. I think the discussion is over. After Tom Brady had the second half that he did against the Seattle Seahawks, I really feel like the debate is over. And then, if you want to hold Deflategate over his head,
which to me is crazy.
I mean, fine. You know what? Then you really shouldn't be involved in the discussion anyways. If that's how you're going to hold a grudge. So my thing is, yeah. You know what? I think the proof is enough. The stats are there. The numbers are there. The championships are there.
Well, I like how Randy brought up his guy, and I respect that.
Yeah.
And losing the Super Bowls, boy, I don't hold that against Tom. To me, if anything, look at the eras, and to me it favors Brady because. And give the 49ers credit. Those are amazing teams. There was no salary cap.
Yeah.
So now in the salary cap era, when you're set up to be average, look at the Broncos, the Panthers.
Yeah.
Go to the Super Bowl, they miss it. The Falcons in the Super Bowl this year didn't make the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
When I talk about the genius and greatness of Tom Brady, yes, what he does in the playoffs, amazing. How about 8 straight division titles? How about 6 straight appearances on Championship Sunday?
Yeah.
This guy's the best ever.
It's insane what they've been able to accomplish. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It really shouldn't happen, and it shouldn't happen for for this long. Normally, you would see a dip. You would see somebody trip. You would see a rough year. You don't make the playoffs, and the haters are going to throw out every excuse. Oh, they play in a weak division. They should always win. It's 8 wins off the bat. But they're consistently good, and Brady's a big part of that. You cannot find me a good coach, a Hall of Fame coach, without a great quarterback. Just go down the line. Joe Gibbs, people throw out Joe Gibbs. He did it with a bunch of different quarterbacks. But other than that, it's Troy Aikman, it's Joe Montana. They're all great, and their coaches are great because of it.
He has transcended, hey, is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback or greatest football player ever? For anybody that did not have that thought process, it's over. It's done. It's written in stone. He's now into, and don't forget, Jordan won 6, but they were all in Chicago, right? Tom Brady's got the chance to now leave teams, leave the greatest coach ever, leave the conference that he plays in, and to go win another one. That's why he's in the Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, Babe Ruth conversation. And Pat makes a really interesting point, really good point of him doing 10 out of 21 and whatnot. But the reality of it's important for everyone to remember the backstory of the Buccaneers. This is a team that hadn't been to the playoffs in 13 years. They're the worst organization when it comes to winning percentage in the history of the NFL. There was no offseason. Everything was stacked against them. It took him 5 months, and he took them to the Super Bowl.
What was it like just being there and watching the final minutes of this game and seeing the Packers potentially driving to tie this game up, even if they got the 2-pointer?
There was still some time on the clock when they were driving down the field. But I always remember we had Tom at quarterback. So
even when Tom Brady was in New England, he never had the most talented offense surrounded by him. But it's about the mentality. You know this. It's the DNA championship that's inside of him. Aaron Rodgers for all his gifts. Has one Super Bowl. One Super Bowl. The greatest talent that we've seen throwing the football has one chip. One chip on his resume.
Can I ask you a question?
There's been many people, Nick, that talked about, has Aaron Rodgers, underachieved throughout his career, considering how great of a talent he is at the quarterback position? So for one game, with all of it on the line, I'm taking the guy that's shown me over 20 years.
And it's unreal to me that Tom Brady can pull this off at his age. And I'll say it again, and I'm going to just keep saying it because as a football player, this really stands out to me in his career. He's never been a threat to run. Every defense he's ever faced has went into a game saying stop the pass and the pass only. Yeah. And still he is one of the greatest passers we've ever seen. And Kyle said this, Peter said, Case, you said it this year too. It doesn't look like he's slowing down. Mm-hmm. What Kyle said the other day, Tom Brady could play 2 more years.
So is he at the end of his career?
I didn't laugh. I didn't snicker. I just had a straight face. And I was like, all right, moving on. Because that statement seems correct by the way he's playing. If he wins this Super Bowl, I feel like it is the greatest move in sports. For him to walk away from Bill Belichick, who we always said Tom Brady was attached to him, and this was the marriage that made him great. Tom Brady said, no. I'll show you guys how great I am once I do it alone.
You had a 7-9 team last year, and they boosted it. They brought in Gronk because of Brady. Leonard Fournette was able to go there because of Brady. Antonio Brown is there because of Brady. They drafted their first-round pick was a tackle because they had Tom Brady. And they go from not winning a playoff game since 2002. Talk about the Browns. Talk about the Browns. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not won a playoff game, had not won a playoff game in 19 years before Tom Brady took them to a wild card victory over the Washington football team. And then what we saw going to your hometown in the Superdome and getting the Buccaneers to the NFC Championship game, I just make the case that his presence Tom Brady's beyond numbers. It's just got some dudes just walk in and things get better. Tom Brady walks into your franchise and things are just going to get better. So I'm just happy to see him back. And I love the way you put it, back where he belongs. He does. He belongs in the NFC Championship game. He belongs in championship games. He's a championship player.
14 conference championship games in 21 seasons. 14 conference championship games in 21 seasons. And you forgot the best number about the 32 wins as a starting quarterback in the playoffs. Number 2 on the list is Joe Montana at 16.
Right, double the.
So I ain't a math major, but he has double the playoff wins that the next closest guy on the list has, and that's only Joe Montana. Okay? And I detest, and anybody with a lick of sense in 2021 should as well, I hate wins as an individual quarterback stat. No, it's just as much as a pitching stat. Like, wins are not a quarterback stat. However, there's an exception to everything. I'm more than happy to make that exception for Tom Brady because you're absolutely right. There's a constant here. The variable, the change in this experiment was Tampa, new system, new personnel, look great on paper, new coach, new environment. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Tom Brady's right back where he always is, at least in the conference championship game, if not the Super Bowl, just like clockwork. Okay, you could have set your watch to it for crying out loud that he'd be here.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day. Thanks for watching.